Don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people. Make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark the talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Oh, no. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark the talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. Make we talk.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. This is the Make We Talk program here on WZPP 96.1 FM in Miami and WZOP 92.7 FM in Fort Lauderdale. I am your host, Jeffrey T. This morning we're going to speak about what is going on in global warming. So many things going on. I see where a Miami-Dade police officer shoot himself. And the President of the United States, son Hunter Biden, is expected to plead guilty today in a federal court for tax evasion. So many things happening. And in the Caribbean, in the land of wood and water, a standoff between Jamaica and the United States. Diplomats, the Jamaican diplomats are given until the end of the year to leave. That is going on also. You don't hear nothing out of the Jamaican government mouth about it. More than the Prime Minister of Jamaica was not awarded his usual diplomatical service when he came to our airport here in the United States. Traveling back to Jamaica, he went through the normal channel of the airport as a head of state. And yet they're saying there's nothing going on. This morning, temperatures, before I came on here, I checked out the temperatures before I came on here. And in Fort Lauderdale, the temperature is 84 degrees, feel like 92. By the way, today's an open mic. Call in 850-446-0562. That's 850-446-0562. Call in and let's discuss what is going on, both in the temperature area of what is going on right now, where the temperatures are getting higher and higher. They said that water temperature off the shores of Florida reached 100 degrees. Reach 100 degrees. Global warming is real. Whether we like it, yes or no, global warming is real. And we must not take this thing lightly. I'm asking everyone who is listening to the sound of my voice, please drink a lot of water. People within the Caribbean who are listening to us, because we're the voice of the Caribbean, we're listening and watching from around the world in the Eastern Caribbean. This is WZPP 96.1 FM and WZOP 92.7 FM. you need to drink a lot of water. I was talking about the temperatures in Fort Lauderdale is 84 degrees, feel like 92. In Miami, it is 82 degrees, feel like 90. In Tampa, 91 degrees, feel like 100. Orlando is 90 degrees, feel like 98. St. Petersburg is 89 degrees, feel like 99. Washington, D.C., 87 degrees, feel like 92. We need to. And there's wildfire all over the place. There's wildfire all over the place. Right now, Greece is burning out of control. Global warming. And whether we want to believe it, yes or no, global warming is real. I was trying to get the temperature within the Caribbean. I have to take a. Well, I was trying to get the temperature within the Caribbean. Hold a while for me, please.
When the game gets rough, in this life just seems so tough. Make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z.
Welcome back. Just a telephone call coming from a well-known individual that I had to take the call. I do apologize about that. But we're talking about global warming. Global warming is real. And whether we want to believe it, yes or no, we have to be talking about food security too. Because the way how the heat is going, I think world leaders need to come together and have a summit on how to secure food. Because the temperatures around the world is going sky high. In some places, all 102, 101 degrees, 111 degrees. And the human body cannot absorb that. We need to take this thing seriously. And that is why I'm saying to everybody out there, make sure you drink a lot of water. Drink a lot of water. Because if you don't drink a lot of water, then God help you. It is also that the governor of Florida has passed a law and stating that black people who went through slavery was thought a traitor too. What is the views on what the governor has said? Call in 850-446-0562. We're living in some very serious times. Because when you look at it, you're faced with high cost of living. You're faced with global warming. You're faced with so many things. Then people People are having problems personally. I see wherein a Miami-Dade police officer shoot himself in the mouth. There are so many things going on that people is facing. So many things that people is facing nowadays. Personal problems, and they can't take the problem, so they turn to either in Jamaica, they call it the jury and its nephew. Or you turn to the gun. We need to sit down and speak about our problems. We need to sit down and speak about our problems. We can't take on the problems and the weight of life get us down that we're going to commit suicide. Or we're going to do certain things to ourselves or to individuals around us. It is very easy to say and it's hard to done because of what people are going through. But look at it. We have one life to live. And all what is going on, you have global warming, you have heat, you have floods. They said that sea temperature is going to rise within the Caribbean in the next year or two. So we have to take these things serious. What are we going to do with the whole crisis of global warming and people facing so many other problems? Some may say, the biblical people may say it is the end of time because it said in Revelation there'll be signs and wonders. And a lot of people may say there is signs and wonders now. What is going on? You see what is going on? And some may say it is man-made because they're saying in the news that man create the whole global warming thing where they have fossil fuel all over the place. And some may say, because a lot of people is saying the heat that we're facing now all around the world, it is a sign of something greater to come. It is a sign of something greater to come. Whether we want to believe it or like it, yes or no. It is. This heat that we're facing around the globe. We have never felt this in all of mankind. And world leaders need to do more. Developing countries need to do more. Countries within the Caribbean are facing problems because you have a lot of little small islands within the Caribbean of the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, and other countries. That if the sea start to rise, then God help those citizens. Especially in the Cayman Islands. You travel from Georgetown in the Grand Cayman Islands to West Bay, to North Side, to East End, and it's all flat. That is why when Hurricane Ivan hit the Caribbean how many years ago, and when the weather reporter from the National Weather Center look over Cayman, they couldn't see Cayman. Cayman was covered with water. So imagine if the sea start to rise, what will happen? We must take these things seriously. And I am calling on the government of the world. Do something about this global warming. Because our planet is facing a serious problem and our people around the world is facing a serious problem. The reefs are going. When you check the reef around Florida, yesterday they said that the temperature of the seas around Florida was 100 degrees. 100 degrees. $100 degrees. There's a weather report now going on the TV. And it's pure heat. From Miami, Tampa, Jacksonville. You know, when you look on what is going on, you ask yourself the question. I see what they're saying. There's a tropical depression out also. It's heading, a tropical depression coming. And you know something? The waters in the Caribbean, it is very warm. And that is not good. That is not good. That is not good. The waters around the Caribbean is very warm. I'm trying to get the water temperature within the Caribbean. Hopefully I can get it. I'm going to see what I can do on my phone here to see if I can get the water temperature within the Caribbean. Because if the water temperature around Florida yesterday was 100 degrees, imagine the water temperature around the Caribbean Sea. Or imagine the water temperature in the Cayman Islands and in Jamaica and in Barbados and in Trinidad and Tobago. Imagine the water temperature around those countries. And that is why on this radio station and this program, the Make We Talk program, we're encouraging people who are listening to us around the world and the Eastern Caribbean. Please drink a lot of water. Drink a lot of fluid. Make sure you're dehydrated. Drink a lot of water. You're hydrated rather. Drink a lot of water. It doesn't matter. You're going to say, oh Lord, I can continue drinking the water because the heat out there, it is not a normal heat. And I want normal feeling you're feeling. You hear them say how hell hot? Then if up here so hot, imagine how hell hot. If the surface of the earth is so hot, that it is causing fires in Canada, fires in Greece, fires all over the place. Fires all over the place. And that is not good because people are losing their homes and lives are being lost. I see we're in 34 people were killed because of wildfire somewhere in another country. We're trying, pray to God that they don't come to us here in some parts of the United States and in our home countries in the Caribbean. But governments have to do something. They have to do something. I don't know what they're going to do, but they need to come together, sit down and have a summit. Not only a summit, how to get climate change under control. But within that summit, they have to get a summit to talk about food. Because they're saying that the world is going to face a food crisis soon. And if the world is going to face a food crisis soon, That means government has to put things in place. That means government within the Caribbean has to put things in place. That means government, or the government in Jamaica, has to put things in place. I said yesterday in a program that I hosted that the $5 billion that they loan to Petrojam, what they need to do is to give that $5 billion to small farmers. Because we have to secure food. We're going to face a hunger crisis soon. The globe going to face a hunger crisis soon, whether we like it, yes or no. Whether we like it, yes or no. The world gonna face a hunger crisis soon. And we must take bits and pieces and see what we can do. That's why we're encouraging backyard farming. And we have to do something. There are so many things that we can do because some countries in the Caribbean have beautiful soil texture. When you think of the land of wood and water, and I hope that it continue with the land of wood and water, because there are so many streams around Jamaica.
You're listening to WZOP 92.7 LP FM.
We're not the airline, but we can take you to the islands every Sunday at Island Vibe Sunday at Blue Martini and the Galleria Mall. Enjoy happy hour from 4 p.m. until 7 p.m. Enjoy live
Man, holy, real band champion, Jamaican, step out and vote for this man. All Jamaican, step out in the street. We have your flag cause election a keep. Andrew a go on like a him a the done. We find out him a the donkey man. We vote out Andrew. Come make we vote out Andrew. Oh my calling, you a win election tonight. Jamaican, happy separation, they out in the street. Man hungry and can't find food to eat. Jamaica nice, but we don't have no good road. Make we vote them out like a dozen white fall. We vote out Andrew. Come make we vote out Andrew. Oh my calling, you a run things tonight. Oh, from West Kingston.
Laborites catch up in Parliament. Warmington cuts out Bartlett.
In the process of so doing, I think that what we want to do is to enable everyone to feel that whatever comes out of this committee is going to be fair and just, and that it will inure to the highest level of protection of the rights of everyone.
What you said, there should be an assumption or destructive to a person, maybe the person's feeling. I asked specifically. Let me finish. No. I have a right to speak just as you or any other member. As long as I asked the question of the director. Again, I'm stated whether there anyone in his team that was a politically exposed person. You didn't allow us to get to it. You ruled me, then shouldn't go there. The issue I asked, and I mentioned then that Ryan Evans was a political advisor to the Dr. Peter Phillips, and I might go further, that he applied
Member,
for a
please,
job.
Member.
No.
Please,
I have
member.
a right to ask the
I did not
questions.
say you don't have a right, but I'm trying to say let's make this meeting what we want in fact to do. Not to be, this committee at this meeting is to receive the reports. I wish that we receive the reports and that we treated them appropriately.
Yes, but at the same meeting I asked the question, he refused to allow me to. Let me finish, Chairman. You can make a statement after. You made your statement, nobody interrupted you. I have the same right as you do. I stated then that Mr. Ren Evans was a political advisor to Dr. Peter Phillips. I go further. He applied for a job, a senior position in ministry. And I know for a fact that the ministry did not employ him because of his political activity and involvement. And therefore, this is something that the Jamaica ought to know. That a senior director at the Integrity Commission is a political activist. Don't tell me not to speak.
Member, I refuse to have you describe in any way any member who is not able to attend any sitting in the manner that you are.
Why didn't you allow him to answer them when he was here?
Please, that matter I will deal with at another level.
No, if I can't ask my question freely and you want to muzzle me, you can keep your meeting by yourself. You want to muzzle me and your rulings are what I call it. You freely with no basis.
Very well.
You want to keep the truth from Jamaica, and I'm not going to be a part of anything that you're trying to stifle the truth. Jamaica must know what we have dealing with these sensitive areas.
Member, there is decorum and there is respect in all of these matters, and I wish that you would preserve that.
You're telling me about decorum and respect?
Thank you very much.
I asked the question very decently and in no raw customs. So tell me about decorum and respect. I'm trying to get the truth from. So is that disrespect?
Please.
It seems you want to encourage all form of things, and that's wrong, and it must not be exposed. I'm not going to be a party to anything that tramples the truth that Jamaica should know. You can keep your committee by yourself.
Member Robinson, I just wanted to be very clear that if members are disrespectful of the chair and this institution and they wish to take their leave of absence, let it be. But I'm not going to be the chairman who condones any sort of behavior of that type. And I think we have had enough of it.
Mark Golding, real band champion, Jamaican, step out and vote for this man. All Jamaican, step out in the street. We have your flag cause election a keep. Andrew a go on like a him a the done. We find out him a the donkey man. We vote out Andrew. Come make we vote out Andrew. Oh, Mark Golding, you a win election tonight. Jamaican, happy separation, they out in the street. Man hungry and can't find food to eat. Jamaica nice, but we don't have no good road. Make we vote them out like a dozen white folk. We vote to Andrew. Come
Make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk.
Welcome back to Make We Talk here on WZPP 96.1 FM and 92.7 FM. I'm your host, Jeffrey T, on the Make We Talk program. In studios, I have with me my colleague and friend, Lisa.
Yes, I think I first one there.
Yes.
Should be me. You got me?
Got you loud and
All
clear.
right, beautiful, beautiful. Good to join you today.
Thank you.
You're talking about something that I've been has been near and dear to my heart for many, many years. And you know, we were warned about this, and nobody
Yes.
took it seriously. And now here we are, because that's what happens sometimes. People say things and they say, "Oh, it's just for pure foolishness." And there were so many climate deniers for so long.
Yeah.
It's just a made up thing, and it's not true, and it's not real, even though the scientific community all agreed. And whether it was man-made or partially just a cycle of the planet itself, it doesn't really matter. We need to do something about it.
But Lisa, as you said, we need to do something about it. What do you think government should be doing right now? Because if the climate crisis is on us, and the heat is getting worse and worse every day, the water's around 100 degrees yesterday.
Isn't that unbelievable?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, can't even. Yeah, I can't. The fish are dying. The coral reefs are bleached out. Without our oceans, we're in serious trouble. If the oceans begin to die, we're in trouble. Not to mention just the pollution in general as well, with all the plastics and everything that's come from petroleum products.
Yes.
That they have yet to find any creature in the sea without plastic in it, which is just incredible to me. But that's a whole nother situation. But it all stems from the same industrial issues that we have.
Hmm.
And I don't remember exactly what the year was when they came together and made the climate agreement.
Right.
And there were a lot of steps put forth and forward, and then of course we pulled out, and then everybody follows suit.
Because what happened, I remember former Vice President Al Gore
Hmm.
led the charge about climate crisis,
Yes,
and
with
everybody laughed at him.
with the movie The Inconvenient
Right.
Truth, and they said, oh, it was just a bag of nonsense, and he was trying to make money or
Mhm.
whatever it was, or there was some conspiracy theory with that trying to change our fuel methods, and then some obviously it was something driven by some greedy people,
Right.
some cabal of humans that
Mhm.
supposedly control the world or whatever it is. But he was really just pointing out to some real scientific charts and some paths
Mhm.
that scientists were saying to him and saying, look, if you look at the graph and you do the math exponentially,
Mhm.
by the year XYZ, we're going to have this. And this, and frankly, we're having exactly what he said we were going to have, which was increased storms, increased intensity of storms,
Mhm.
sea level rise, food insecurity, mass migration, and all kinds of other things that go along with it. So,
When you look at it as a citizen of the world,
mhm.
don't you think that global leaders right now should be having a summit on food?
I think that absolutely, absolutely. That's part of the, in my opinion. People will probably criticize me and say, "Oh, she's a globalist." But
Mhm.
you know what? I know a lot of people who work in the space industry, and when they go up into space, they see the Earth as one place where we all live,
Yes.
and yet somehow we're still so divided by country, by country, by country, by ethnicity, by this, by that,
Mhm.
by all kinds of things. And until we realize that we all share a home, it's
Mhm.
called Earth,
Mhm.
and we take care of it properly, we'll just continue to kick the can down the road, which is what
Mhm.
what happens all the time is
Mhm.
governments just kick the can down the road and, oh, we'll deal with this problem later. Well, eventually, the problem is so significant that it can no longer be kicked down the road.
Because I believe that some of these government have shares in some of these companies, and that is why they don't want to do anything about it.
Well, certainly, people who make money from oil
Yes.
and petroleum products certainly don't want to lose that revenue.
Mhm.
So obviously, there's been efforts to change vehicles to some sort of,
Mhm.
battery-based emissions, less emissions, and but we still cars make up a certain amount. Of course, there's been a lot of uh, movement towards getting away from cow agriculture, which
Mhm.
honestly is a huge contributor, believe it or not.
Mhm.
But a lot of people are very skeptical and afraid of the alternatives, which
Mhm.
I saw on a news program the other day. A man grew chicken in a
But Lisa, do you think those things are good for the human consumption?
well, you know, we're in an existential battle.
Yeah.
So everything comes with a risk. And to be honest, a lot of our chicken isn't that good for us anyways because we're
No.
filling it with hormones and other garbage unless you're buying like strictly
Mhm.
pure organic all the time, farm
Mm-hmm.
raised, range free, all that stuff, and paying 10 times what most people want to pay for chicken,
Mhm.
then your chicken's not that good for you either,
Mhm.
to be honest. So to me, you know, it's it, it's a risk. Everything comes with a risk. And is it better to feed people with things that may cause harm down the road? I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm not the one to make that
A
that
decision.
decision, or I
Right.
don't know scientifically
Right.
whether chicken grown in a lab is going to be harmful down the road, or if chicken raised on a farm with
Mhm.
antibiotics is going to be equally as harmful. So
Mhm.
which is more risky? Or do you just wait until the food supply is none, and then that's worse?
Mhm.
So
You know, I grew up in Jamaica,
Hmm.
and you have been in Jamaica many years. You have been living
Yes,
in Jamaica,
absolutely.
and I grew up on well, not really on a farm, but grew up knowing that my grandmother and my adopted parents used to have a farm and so forth.
Hmm.
And we used to take the chicken from the farm and we pluck it and eat it,
Well, yes,
and the
and that
eggs and so forth.
yes. So I agree with what you were saying earlier about
Yes,
backyard farming,
right.
and yes, you know, if I go to my family home, there's a
Mhm.
breadfruit tree, some mango tree, some soursop
Yes.
trees, anything
Mhm.
you need right there. You know,
Mhm.
if you have no food coming in, you can
Mhm.
make do with what's there. Jackfruit, all kinds of things are growing right there, and they don't really have farmland. They just have
No,
some space around the
right.
house where
And they just
trees,
build,
yeah, and
they
with
just
some
plant
trees,
something,
yeah.
yeah.
You know, sadly, some storms have come through and taken out some of
Mhm.
those trees from time to time. But
Mhm.
yes, everybody tends, and I see that culture here in America as well,
Mhm.
from Caribbean
Caribbean people,
national. Yes,
right,
and you can look in my backyard. We have a mango tree, and
right,
even have some sugar cane. We have a few different things growing
right.
in the backyard because that's how they were. That's how we grew up.
Yep.
So, you know, with that, and yes, that is a great alternative, but not
Mhm.
everybody can do that. You see people live in high rises and people live in urban areas where that's not possible. And that's where the concentration of the people are, is in the
You know,
cities.
when you look on what is going on, and a lot of people say, Jeffrey, you talk too much about Jamaica. But when you look at what's going on, the temperature rising in the sea and the sea level rising.
Hmm.
When you look on islands like the Cayman Islands and Jamaica,
Yes.
especially the Cayman Islands, I lived in the Cayman Islands for many years.
Mm.
And when Hurricane Ivan came, everybody thought Cayman was flat
Gone.
and done
Yeah.
with,
It's not a very large island,
right?
so yes.
Because the water covered the island.
Hmm.
But you know, when they got in contact with people, and said, "Oh, we're still alive." If the temperature of the sea is getting so hot and the sea is gonna rise, what are we gonna do about those islands? Jamaica, Cayman Islands, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, and all those places.
Yes, not to mention every other coastal area in the
Right.
world where
Florida never played.
we
Yeah.
build up the coast, and this is where I don't understand either, is the development that continues to grow along the coast.
Mhm.
As we see this happening, that somehow developers are still interested in oceanfront property, which makes no
Absolutely no
sense to
sense.
me.
None whatsoever. Because there's a place in the Cayman Islands on the 7 Mile Beach.
Hmm.
At one point there was no beach. The water was coming up to the people's front patios.
Sure, sure. And we see areas even up north where houses are on cliff sides and they're falling into the
Right.
sea because if the polar caps begin to melt. I mean, you don't you know this is this is
Mhm.
elementary school science. When water melts, you can see exactly when
Mhm.
ice melts. You see
Mhm.
the
Mhm. Mhm.
water. If you put an ice cube in a bowl and you
It
let it
melts
melt,
away.
then the water in the bowl becomes
Right.
higher.
Right.
So I mean, we
Yeah.
don't have to, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that one out.
I don't remember. I don't know if you're in Jamaica back in the days, or maybe you know about it. I remember when I was a child, grew up in Negril.
Hmm.
They used to have the thing they call nor'wester.
Hmm.
And when the nor'wester sea comes in, it bring in the weeds and everything.
Yes.
And when it's finished away with, the weed go out. And the beach becomes so big. The water's all the way out there. Now, the water is right up here
Hmm.
to the buildings.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's to show you from then to now, we are in serious crisis.
Yes. And the thing is that when you do the math, like if you watch the movie,
Mm.
The Inconvenient Truth, you see that it's exponential. So the curve on the chart of how the sea level
Mm.
will rise, it's not just a little increments. As it grows, it gets exponentially faster,
Yes.
more
Yes.
quickly.
Yes.
So it as it starts, it's just going to get worse faster. And so we're
Mhm.
really up against it. I believe there are some countries in Europe who have begun to take measures to protect
Mhm.
their shorelines. Of course, America has a ridiculous amount of shoreline, and Jamaica, I don't think, has any appetite to spend that kind of resource to do those types of things. And of
Jamaica,
course, it's a different, landscape in
yeah.
Jamaica because it's, you know,
Is it? I mean, can majority of Jamaicans who lives on the shoreline can they run to the mountains? Because pretty soon the way how things are going,
mm,
the wave gonna go all over the mountains.
this is true.
What do you want to believe? Yes or no? Where Jamaica have the highest mountain is Blue Mountain Peak. I forgot how many
Well,
you
thank the
know.
Lord they have higher ground. We in Florida do not. Where are we gonna go?
There you go.
I don't know.
You know, I,
You
I
know?
I was saying to a friend of mine yesterday on the phone. I said, listen, you see what is going on in Greece with the
Yeah, I saw
wildfire
that
and
this
everything.
morning. Yeah,
Imagine if this should come to Florida. What the hell would happen to us?
and it's not. We're in rainy season right now.
Yeah.
So it's not impossible that this could happen to us as the dry season comes in and the temperatures still remain hot.
Right. And look into this, Lisa. If the time is so hot, imagine what is going on in the earth.
This is true.
Imagine how the earth is getting all
Mhm. We're going to see a lot more of all kinds of
disaster.
disasters. We'll see volcanoes erupting.
Yeah.
We'll see. There's been a typhoon, I believe in the
In the
Philippines.
Philippines, yes.
So we're going to see, and not to mention air travel is getting very scary because as the atmosphere around the Earth, and we have an increased number of planes. If you have look at the flight pattern at any given time in any given day, it's an insane amount of planes in the sky. And they encounter this weather. We've seen a couple of incidents of really dangerous turbulence,
Mm-hmm.
and that's quite frightening as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we are facing this is an existential threat,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all mostly been created out of man's need to continue to create to stay busy and
Create wealth.
Create wealth, exactly.
And
For what?
I don't
You
know
can't-
because you can't take it with you.
eat wealth and you can't breathe wealth,
Right.
and that's what I've always said is that I don't care how big your pocketbook is, we all need air and water, and if we don't have clean air and clean water, you could be the world's richest person,
Mm-hmm.
but you're gonna have to be Elon Musk and go live on Mars.
Living on Mars, I've always said this. This all amount of money they're spending to go to do all those things.
Mm-hmm.
So many people around the world is dying for hunger.
Mm.
And look at what's going on right now with this climate crisis. And I keep on asking the question, what is world leaders really doing about this? Are they sitting down and just twiddling their thumbs because Donald Trump was saying that there's nothing wrong with there's no global warming, there's nothing.
Exactly, and that's part of the problem is we still have people who are deniers who think that this is some sort of conspiracy and some sort of way that this must be being said by people who stand to gain monetary gain by saying there's global warming, which is sadly what always happens is when anybody says, "Oh, we have a problem," they think that there's some nefarious motivation
Right.
behind it.
Right.
And sometimes it's just a real actual warning.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And this thing has been warning us for decades.
Mm-hmm.
And we do nothing about it.
We've done baby steps, I will
Yes.
say. Baby steps.
What baby steps? What has developing countries what has superpowers do for the smaller countries in the Caribbean and in Asia and so forth? What have they done?
Nothing that I can point my finger to. So, in those areas, no. The only things that we can really, I think, point our fingers to are some of the initiatives that have gone on to the automobile industry and some of the increased regulations. But for the most part, for the last, at least in the last administration, deregulation was the game. Deregulation was the what made all that wealth.
Right. A lot of people don't like when people talk about talk about religion.
Mm.
They said in the last days it'll be signs and wonders.
Yeah, brimstone and fire.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're living in the last days, but man has created this.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not from the supreme being. I think man has created this.
Absolutely, because I'll tell you something. The planet we live on is billions of years old.
Yes.
We're just an inhabitant for a short while.
Yes.
And guess what?
And it's really
God's planet will go on living long after human beings are gone.
Yes.
With the species that survive.
Yes.
And they will continue to evolve and grow and humans will become like dinosaurs. And it is nobody's fault but our own. We will
Yeah.
self-extinct ourselves very quickly.
Mhm.
And that is no joke. So yes, God is the ruler of the universe, and whatever, whoever the creator is, created all of this, created man, but we are not the end all be all. We are not man is not the supreme being. So
No.
man will come and go on this planet. We are here actually for a very short time.
Very,
If you
very short time.
look on, the history of the
Yeah.
planet itself, and the planet will
Mm.
go on, and plants will live, and certain, I'm sure, cockroaches will
Oh,
survive
yes,
because
yes.
they survive
They survive,
anything.
you kill them and they still survive.
Exactly.
Man-
Somehow you step on it, and
Right.
it walks away.
Man
So-
was only ordained to live once.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And whether we
So-
want to believe it, yes or no, we're facing a crisis beyond man imagination.
Yes, and until we realize that this is our home, this one Earth we've been given,
Yeah.
there is no other planet that is sustainable for life around us that we could go to. This is
Mm.
it. So if if you let your house get run down and you can't live in it no more, and it's toxic for you to live in, then you're gonna die. The same thing would happen if you got water in your house, and you just let the water stay there, and it filled up with mold and whatever,
Mhm,
and you're going to
mhm.
get sick and die. So you have to take care of your home, and our home happens to be this planet.
Indeed. If you're watching us on the WZBP app, or you're watching us on the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel, I must say good afternoon to my viewers on the Make We Talk YouTube channel. Good afternoon to Yo-Yo, my good friend Yo-Yo. Good afternoon to you. It is a topic that can continue and continue and continue. I'm going to try my endeavor best to bring in some people to speak to us more about global warming and the temperatures around.
And some of the
and
solutions. 'Cause
solutions.
I can identify the problem, but I'm certainly no scientist that can
There you
come
go.
up with any good solutions, because I that's beyond my pay grade.
Yeah.
So,
if anyone who's listening out there, know anyone who can give us some solutions, some people in high positions in the scientist world,
well, yeah.
so
Please give us a call.
please give
yeah.
us a call, at our station here.
And we do have some solutions. We just don't implement them because, as you said, they don't. They nobody can sell the sun. And
Mhm.
I'm sorry, but every house in Florida should have had solar a long time ago. And that would have done a
Mhm.
lot. And I know that that's been because money.
Yeah.
hmm
And when we look in the Caribbean, Jamaica, other countries within the Caribbean, they should have solar panel on their houses too.
All of these sunny places.
Right. And if the governments in the Caribbean really want to assist in the sense of, global warming and so forth, the money that you're borrowing to do some stupidness and some of the money going in your pocket, help the people of your country
hmm
by giving them low cost solar panels.
Yes, absolutely.
We just sit down and we accept what they give us, and we just say, okay, while the earth is shrinking bit by bit, day by day. And if we don't do something, then I'm sorry, we're going to face with a problem that only God can stop it. And he will not stop it because he made a perfect world.
Yes, and
we are the one.
We made our bed. Now we must lie in it.
My grandmother always said to us, make your bed hard, lay down in it.
Exactly. Mhm.
In Jamaica, lay down in a head. Lisa, you have anything more to say before we wrap up? Because you're coming on next.
No, well, just stick and stay. Get some relief with some little. We're gonna chill you out with some music after this
Yes,
heavy
yes.
conversation.
Indeed,
so stick
indeed.
and stay for Ragamuffin International.
And I'm saying to all who are listening in here in Florida and around the world, please drink a lot of water.
Yes.
Drink a lot of water. If you don't have to go out in the sun, don't go out in the sun. I hope the electric grid can stay up with this heat.
Yes, I feel sorry for the people in Texas.
Yeah.
As you know, Texas is the only state that is not on the power grid with the rest of the country. So
Yeah.
what happens, the way the grid works, is if some part goes down,
Mhm.
other states fill in. Texas goes down. No, sorry for them.
My God.
Yeah.
And when you look in Canada, the
Mhm.
wildfire in Canada again, the smoke is blowing over into New York, Chicago, and all those places.
Sure. You saw what was going on with the fires from Nova Scotia.
Yes.
My goodness, just nuts. Just crazy. This is what we have to look forward to.
My God. And if we don't But right now, there's nothing we as
No, as a
citizens
citizen,
can
no.
do.
Like, yeah, there's there's really not
You know?
much we can do.
We're wasting money fighting war in Ukraine and
Right.
and Russia. We're wasting money building new weapons to fight each other
Exactly.
while the planet is going down.
Exactly. Like I said, we're so divided. We don't unite as a globe. And like I said, people poo-poo on globalism because they say, oh, that's like dangerous. But on the
Yeah.
same token, a certain amount of it is necessary in
Mhm.
order for us to protect the planet.
Mhm. Thank you very much, Lisa, for
It's been
coming
a
on to the Make
pleasure.
We Talk.
No,
Yes.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you. We're gonna say so long from here and let Lisa come in to do her thing, her Caribbean thing. You know.
Play some tune, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
As what they say in Jamaica. Play some tune, no, man.
Mm-hmm.
Spin the turntable.
Put things on people, yeah, man.
Thank you so much for coming on. It is now 1:58 p.m. here in Miami, here in Fort Lauderdale and St. Petersburg. Where we listen from around the world in the Eastern Caribbean, this is WZPP 96.1 FM and WZOP 92.7 FM. To all my viewers in the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel, remember to like, share, and subscribe. And also, do something to help somebody else. This is where I say so long. May God bless you. May God continue to bless our island home and our country. Until you hear my voice, have a great day. This is where we say so long from here.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk,